My name is Brianna Sinclair, and this is my 39th week on HRT. On my channel, I post mostly transgender content, and if you like my content, please like, comment, subscribe. If you have questions, please feel free to ask, and if there's something specific that you would like me to cover, please put that in the comments below, and I will definitely do my best to cover it. And with that being said, let's get right into the video. As I said before, this is my 39th week on HRT. Quick measurements update. My hips are at 34.5. My bust is at 36 inches, and my waist is at 24 3/4. So still no change between last week and this week. And I just think that I'm not 100% sure what that is. I think I'm just kind of at one of those points where my measurements don't really change because I've been eating more. I've been like trying to intake more, so that way my body has more to work with, and I just haven't really seen any changes as of yet, and that's fine. From what I read and what I hear, it's mostly like a stop and go kind of thing, like everything's gonna go really quickly at some points, and it's gonna slow down, and it's gonna ramp back up again and then slow down, which is perfectly fine. My emotional state is very stable, I would say. Yeah, even though, like, I'm now kind of like, I don't know. My emotional state, I would say, is very stable, even though, like, a lot of weird things have, like, been happening as far as, like, my relationship and things going on in, like, my life, and that's perfectly fine. There's nothing really to report there. Nothing really to report there. Hair reduction growth is still the same between last week and this week, but overall it's decreased. Like, my hair growth has decreased very quickly, and I cannot tell you how happy I am about that because my body hair has been a huge source of, like, my dysphoria ever since, like, I guess I started growing it. I always hated it. And whenever I started growing, like, pubic hair and, like, facial hair and hair under my arms, it was as though, like, my depression was kind of, like, fueled by it at some points, and I just couldn't be happy. It didn't matter what happened, I just was never happy whenever, like, I was a boy. There were a couple times where, like, I was overwhelmed with happiness as a boy, but they weren't very often. And most of the time it was with, like, whenever, like, I was in, like, my marriage with my ex and stuff, but that's just because, like, I'm not meant to be alone. I'm just not. And I'm getting used to it, to be honest with you. I'm perfectly fine with it. Because, I don't know, there's just something, like, I don't like it, but it is what it is. So I'm just kind of, like, experimenting and, like, living a little bit more freely, because I can do a little bit more, but, like, I have the option to do more, but I just don't, because I'm just not that way. I'm a super introvert. So I rarely go out, I rarely even make time to go out, and I keep my friends list short, and, like, it's just how I am. Breast growth. My breasts, I still think, are growing. They hurt a little bit less often now, though, so I think it's starting to, like, come to a halt a little bit. If they are growing still, I think that they're starting to drop just a little bit lower, where my waist is thinner, to kind of, like, make it seem like my measurements aren't changing, which I think is very plausible, because I have still noticed that they're getting bigger. They've stopped getting softer and like more squishy, I guess. I'm not 100% sure how to like phrase that without it sounding like super weird. But yes. And then there is still like a solid mass like underneath. But like I can feel kind of, which is, I think it's like the original disc that initially formed, kind of like starting to like blossom out. I think that's what that is. It's like kind of mid blossom. I don't know. And then but that's it for my breast growth. And honestly, it's very euphoric just to have them, even though they may not be like the size I'm going for, which is perfectly fine. Sorry, this is like, I thought I'd try this dress out. It's very risque as far as like what I'm like used to wearing, and she falls down a lot, and I think it's mostly because like my bust is very little. Very little. Fat redistribution. I haven't really noticed anything as far as fat redistribution goes, except for like overall what's been like happened to like my face. For like the rest of my body, not really. Other than like I guess what's been like deposited in like my breast tissue. My hips and my waist have not changed. I don't know why my hips haven't started to change. It's been almost a year. So I feel like they should have started changing by now if they were going to, but most of my family's really little anyway, even the girls, and so I don't really kind of like expect too much change from in my hips. Let's see. My sex drive. I don't know if it's like decreasing. It actually, no, it is definitely decreasing a little bit, which is kind of nice. It's a little bit, it's still a little annoying, which sucks because like the only real reason like I relied on like my sex drive like now was just in case I wanted SRS and wanted like depth. So I just essentially just worked out that area to try and maintain depth, so that way I wouldn't like lose any of the length that would become my depth if I were to get SRS. And that's kind of like how that worked. I kind of looked up on like how to do it and stuff like that, and like how like it works. It's really weird, and definitely like a more private conversation, but that's what I've been doing, and having a high sex drive has helped that, but like with my sex drive kind of like falling off, because ever since like me and my ex just kind of like, well, ever since I broke up with my ex, it's just been like, I don't really need it. But anyway, I'm still looking, still trying to like find who I want to be with and who can actually be with me. But yeah, that's like what's going on in like my personal life. As for me being tired, yes, I am still tired. I still take midday naps. I still do all of that stuff. Just because like I sleep like 4 hours a day at night, and I try and like catch like maybe an hour or two like during the day, just to like kind of give my mind a break. Excuse me. Yeah, obviously I'm still tired. Muscle development, I don't know quite if it's still decreasing. I haven't noticed like my arms or anything like dropping off super bad recently, but I do know overall I have lost a lot of muscle. and um, I'm still pretty toned. This is kind of nice. Well, hello, Findies. Here to say hi. You're gonna go see mommy soon. Yeah, that's pretty much it to report. My voice therapy, I think, is going okay. My voice therapist, I just has not been able to, like, get back to me, so I've just been, like, kind of doing it on my own, and I feel like it's going okay, because I try to talk a little bit more femininely, like, um, at the makeup store job that I work at, and stuff like that, to, like, help me with my voice training and stuff like that. I think it's a little bit easier. What are you doing? You know it's me. You're such a good boy. I still have a long way to go. A long, long way to go. Until, like, I am fully happy with, like, my voice. And that's it to, like, report as far as changes go. My ex and I finally got, like, our restaurant open. We plan to co-own it and stuff. And I think the plan is to open up, like, a bunch of them together and just kind of, like, go at it as friends, which is fine with me, because, like, all I've ever wanted was for her to be happy. Yeah, we opened up our restaurant down in Jacksonville, Florida, and we did a soft opening. I think the hard opening is sometime in April, but it might be a little bit longer than that. And that's it. Every time I went down there, I would put on my coveralls, and I would put on my boots and steel-toe boots that I modified at some point for an elf costume. And I worked until it was not funny anymore. I had been all over that restaurant. I was on the roof, I was in the kitchen, I was building the stage, I was doing it all. Because I'm not... I consider myself multifaceted. I like to do things, I like to do DIY projects. I was doing even electrical work, because that's my job and my main career, as I'm a form of electrician. And usually it's not hard. It gets hard sometimes, but it's not hard usually. So yeah, I did my best to try and get that restaurant off the ground, and even the manager, who I was there busting my butt for, to try and, like, get it open, said if they had, like, me full-time there, the restaurant would have been open up at least a month ago. I'm a hard worker, and it's a good thing and a bad thing, because whenever, like, I get into a zone, I focus on it, and a lot of things take a back seat. Even my health sometimes takes a back seat, because if a project is a super long project, I will focus on finishing that project until it becomes ridiculous for me to even do things. I even forego like meals sometimes just to get through my projects, just so I can finish them. It's not a good way to go about things, and sometimes I do have to take a break. I set timers, I make schedules and stuff like that, so that way I'm not overworking and overdoing things. I don't know what that is about me, but I turn all those off whenever, like, I used to, at least, whenever it came to my ex. And whoever I end up with is going to get that exact same treatment, because that's the kind of person I am. I don't imagine that I don't imagine I'm going to be in the relationship exactly like that one, because in that one I was a boy and now I am a girl. So from here on out, I'm not going to be the boyfriend, I'm not going to be the husband, I'm going to be the girlfriend, I'm going to be the wife. And since I want kids, I hope to be like the mother someday. And if I'm with another girl, I would expect her to want the same things. Unless they transition, in which case they can be the husband, they can be the boyfriend. I don't care. Yeah, in dating, everyone's been asking me, like, do you care about gender and stuff like that? I was like, first off, I don't feel like I have the right to care about gender. And second off, no. No, I don't. Yeah. I admit, like, in dating, I do prefer women, because that's because girls are usually softer and, like, more gentle and more emotional. Having said that, boys love deeper. Boys have a lot to lose, so if they actually like you, they're going to like you. Usually. A lot of them, I admit, just are either chasers or just want sex or something like that. But if a boy really likes you, he really likes you. Come here, buddy. Anyway, that's what I'm doing. I'm currently dating, figuring things out, and stuff like that. And dating as a girl is really weird, because usually I've just been like, I've only had to worry about like people like liking the boy me. I never really had to like date as like the girl me, and that's a very weird like experience, to be honest, because now I have to worry about like people just wanting me to like use me or be like an experiment for, and that's not what I am. Which is kind of funny, because I don't do hookups. I physically can't, because I have to have like that emotional connection that I continuously talk about. So immediately all the chasers and stuff are turned off. Usually. Ew, what are you doing? We did start the new year at like my makeup store job, and I ended up at number 13 in the whole company, which is actually pretty good. I alone changed like entire goals for like our building, and I was upset about it because it meant everyone had to work harder on account of me, but like the rewards for it are supposed to be pretty good, allegedly. hard part is I don't know how much longer I'm going to be there. Because with the restaurant open, financially I should be a lot more stable. And I shouldn't need this job anymore. Because I did what I set out to do. I learned how to do makeup. My ex and the girls at the store taught me how to do my makeup, how to actually kind of look beautiful in a way. And a couple YouTube videos taught me how to feminize my face through makeup. So in applying the methods and stuff that my friends taught me, as I would ask them hey, how's this stuff work and stuff like that, helped a lot. As I film these videos, there's no filter on these. I don't know how to edit, I don't know how to filter, I don't know how to do any of that stuff yet. And for these videos, I don't ever plan to, because these videos are supposed to be real and authentic. So I don't cut, I don't splice, I don't do any of that, because I would rather it be raw in the moment. I am meeting my ex somewhere in Georgia next week, and I'm essentially giving her a cat, Fendi, so he's not going to be here anymore, and she's giving me clothes to kind of expand my wardrobe. My ex is my best friend. We may not get along all the time, but she's always going to be my best friend and my biggest supporter. And I know that. Whenever I broke up with her, through everything, she was afraid I was going to leave. But I'm tethered to her. So I physically can't. So even if I wanted to, I couldn't, and I'm not going to, because she just wants the best for me as well. We still love each other. That's undeniable. But we just can't be together. She needs a boy, and I clearly can't be that for her anymore. Yeah. Breakups hurt. This one does hurt. But I know it's for a good cause. It's so she can be happy and not be put in danger. It's a long story, but ultimately I broke up with her because I need her happy and I need her safe. So in putting all of my selfish aspirations aside, I did what I knew was best and put her needs first. I broke up with her so that she could be happy, even if it cost me the one relationship that made me the happiest. And I don't regret it. But as I meet her down in Georgia, she's bringing her boyfriend, and it's gonna be good. But yeah, I don't know if we're doing a date or something like that, where it's all three of us kind of go out to dinner or something, but it's gonna be what it's gonna be. That's all I know. I just can't wait for my wardrobe to finally be finished. I like clothes, at least shopping for female clothes. Shopping for boy clothes depressed me as a kid. It was not my favorite thing, and far worse than my worst thing to do. Just because I have so many bad memories of just clothes shopping that were just uncomfortable, and a lot of it was like manipulative and more mentally abusive in some instances, which is to do with my family that I don't see a whole lot of anymore. I don't know what's gonna happen with my family. I did change my name on some of my social media platforms that I don't post here because a lot of them have references to like my main career and stuff, and it's better if my channel's not related to that, because I don't want to be like co-linked, and that's fine for me. I don't care. I am just trying to get through my transition the best way I know how, amongst all of the executive orders and everything that's coming out, to make my transition harder and borderline impossible. But I'm not going to stop my transition. I intend to keep going and keep evolving into the woman I'm supposed to be. It's kind of funny to think like how much I've changed just socially from a boy to a girl. As a boy, I was very shy, and I never wanted to like get up in front of people. As a girl, I found the courage to even do karaoke. I found the courage to get up there and ruin my favorite songs in front of an audience. And even though, like, I've only done it twice, both times have been wonderful experiences. I remember the first time I ever did karaoke was, the place is closed now, but it was like a little, it was like a bar, an arcade. They had like board games and stuff. It was like a hangout spot that you could do karaoke at, and they had a massive stage. I went down. It was me and my friend. We were driving down to Tennessee because I had to get some stuff from Missouri, and they did too. And we stopped in Tennessee to visit his cousin. And she worked at this place. We went, I drank a little bit, and it was the first time I got up on stage and I sang. I sang Drops in the Ocean by Hawk Nelson, all in boy mode. And apparently I did very well. The second time I did karaoke was for my father-in-law's former father-in-law's Christmas party. I sang Hold On by Fivefold, which was kind of funny because I was actually in girl mode that time. I was actually Brianna. And grandma's like wife, so maybe sister-in-law. She brought some friends, and they were drunk. And as I was checking on my ex, I would check on her every 15 to 30 minutes because she wasn't feeling well, and I wanted to make sure she was okay. And she was my priority, so I would go up there to check on her and leave her alone, so that way she could rest. I wasn't bothering her, and I would just return to the party. I would just sit at the counter, eat food, and drink a little bit, and just kind of like mind my own business. But her friends came over and asked me how many shots I did, and I told them I had done 3 shots, and I was also like 2 beers deep at the time, so it was like very weird. And they said, only 3? And immediately I knew there was going to be more drinking involved. And we immediately did a shot, and from there, we just kind of like vibed and hung out a little bit. They started doing karaoke, and I was pushed into it. I did not have an option. So I got up there, and they watched my voice drop from being a girl to being a full man as I sang Fivefold. Well, hold on, by Fivefold. All the girls couldn't believe it, and thought I did wonderfully. I was afraid I was going to wake up my ex because it's a louder song, but it felt really good because I don't ever plan to have like a career in like singing or anything like that. I'm far from like that level, at least in my opinion. But it was just good to like have some friends that were proud of me. Like, you sound really good, you did wonderfully, good job. That part was just good. I don't know the next time I'm going to do karaoke, but I'm starting to be more open and experience life a little bit more, because it feels like as a boy I kind of knew that like something was wrong, so I just didn't want to do anything because it would all just feel like it was wrong. Whereas like now that I'm a girl, things just feel right to do. I'm still extremely introverted, don't get me wrong. I'm much more the person that like plays mom at the party than like the person that like gets drunk or is the party animal. But I'm starting to like just want to get out and experience life a little bit more instead of being held up in my room as like a hostage of my own fear or like dysphoria. But I think that's enough for today. You've heard about like my changes, my tragic dating life, and everything else that's going on. But I think that's enough for tonight. If you like my content, please like, comment, subscribe. Feel free to ask questions, and if you'd like to see something specific, please post it down below. I have other forms of social media that are attached to my channel. I have a Blue Sky account and a Discord, so if you'd like to message me privately on there, you can. And we can talk a little bit more offline and get you more information if you have something personal that you want to ask or something like you want to share. This is Brianna Sinclair, signing off.